welcome to another episode of Mocha Madness. Thank you for joining us again this evening or this afternoon, whenever it may air. Thank you for joining us. Mocha Madness is where we just kind of break down everything that's going on in the political realm in this world today. And like Ronnie says, they give us enough to talk about each and every day. So we never have a lack of information or content as that regards. And I said your name, but nonetheless, welcome, Ronnie.
Thank you. How are you? How was the concert?
It was everything around it made it good. But I've seen her multiple times, and so I was like, it just didn't give me that, even though she added that element this time where she's kind of floating through the air at one point and stuff like that. But it just didn't give me, and especially in your hometown, I was expecting her to go a little harder, and I was expecting her to have a few more guests. And so that part of it I was kind of disappointed with. But it was just the energy of being in Madison Square Garden and stuff that made it good. But her, she kind of getting a little, to me, just might be her last one, but. Neo brought out Remy Ma, and I was excited about that because I love her from her old hit.
I do love Remy too.
Yeah, so that was a highlight. But I think she may go ahead and transition to her acting more.
Okay, Monet.
Yeah. Something along those lines because I just wasn't highly impressed. Like, it could have been better.
Them knees wasn't knee.
I mean, they was doing what they can do when you're in your 50s, you know what I'm saying? It just didn't get the hype. I just felt like in her city, it would have been like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
But it was no different than what I saw clips of. My dad and his wife went to see her a few weeks ago. And so based off some of the videos that she took, I was like, oh, okay, cool. But in her own city, I'm thinking you're going to be like, but
yeah, and that's New York. She could have brought out that could have been
and then she played the whole Little Kim verse. I was expecting Little Kim to come, you know what I'm saying?
And they click tight.
So I was a little disappointed about that. I was like, well, why would you play? I mean, I get it, but you could have pivoted if she wasn't gonna be there. But
definitely could have pivoted.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I like the pictures and stuff. I was like, look at my babies. I love them.
Yeah, but the highlight was that we met. No, I won't say met, but we ran into Lil Nas X.
I saw that. I did see that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Like she was like, "Oh well, let's have a seat and people watch." And I was like, "Well, I do a lot better people watching when I have a drink in my hand." So we went down to like a little bar that was not far from where we were at, and so was in there, and we were in there playing speed. And then like he walked past, and we both looked at each other like, "Man, I darted out of there." And then when he was like a little bit halfway down the street, but it was I guess a couple other people that recognized who he was. And there was one guy that had stopped him, was trying to put him on his fashion blog and everything like that. And then these other guys who recognized him wanted to put them on their blog. And then he ran into the store. So I told the store boss, I said, "Hey, now when he come out, it's your job to ask for pictures because you'll be, less assuming."
Yeah.
He came out, she asked, he grabbed the phone and took a couple shots and stuff like that. So it was really cool.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. That's good.
Yep. All right. So you ready to get into this?
We got a lot to get into. So
we definitely do. So we will start. Let's start with this whole Maryland man situation and him not being sent back to the US. So it's also been said that he's part of that. He was being part of that gang. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. I don't know if you even know if he's been confirmed. It
hasn't been confirmed. What they're doing is anybody that has any kind of tattoos that look like they may be of that race or whatever, they're really just sending people.
Yeah. So
there's no background checks, no nothing.
And it's like MS something 13 or something like that. But
Crazy.
also, what if he, just for devil's advocate, what if he was a previous, and I don't know how this one of those situations that once you in, you always in or not, but what if he was, got the tattoo, and then grew up a little bit, changed his life, no longer affiliated with it? Should he still be penalized for it, even if he in fact was even a part of it?
I'm going to say, as far as him being penalized for it, I'm going to say no. And what I'm saying no to is there still has to be due process. You can't just pick somebody up and ship them back. Due process, that's something that 1000% it has to happen. And he's owed that. And he's here legally. So, like, I know that you're going to play a little audio clip of it, but we're all like, due process. Well, I saw today, Bondi.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Yeah, the
Matter of
attorney.
fact, let me find that.
Yeah, so she's basically tried. First, it happened. The press secretary first. She brought out a mother from Maryland whose daughter was killed by an illegal immigrant some years or something ago. So they brought her to talk at a press conference. And okay, I'm sorry that that happened, but the one that killed your daughter was illegal. This one is legal, and these are two totally different things. So to even bring her in front of the press to talk, it's like, what is that? And then Pam Bondi said something along the lines of, I mean,
I got it right here.
Yeah, he's not coming back to our country. It was a misstep, an extra misstep. But it's like, due process is not just an extra step. That's a constitutional right. It's not a technicality. So, like, the administration is right now showing that they have absolutely no respect for the country while continuing to refuse, and accusing others of criminal activity when their administration full of, okay.
Yeah. But it's just easy to, what they call it, the pot calling the kettle black or whatever. And then also, I think the fact of bringing that other mother out or whatever like that is kind of like what they've been doing a lot of, is deflecting. So, kind of look over there type of situation. So then you don't really focus on what's really going on. But let me play a little piece of what Pam said today.
Hard stop. He should not be in our country. He was deported. They needed one additional step in paperwork, but now MS-13 is characterized as it should be, as an FTO, as a foreign terrorist organization. So he is not coming back to our country. President Bukele said he was not sending him back. That's the end of the story. If he wanted to send him back, we would give him a plane ride back. There was no situation ever where he was going to stay in this country. None. He would have come back, had one extra step of paperwork, and gone back again. But he's from El Salvador. He's in El Salvador, and that's where the president plans on keeping him.
The evidence. We're not going to see the evidence.
We have the transcripts from the court hearings. I'll be glad to give you the court hearings from 2019, what we have, sure. Where the rulings from the judges, gladly. Hard stop. He should not.
So, I guess I'm a little confused though, and listen to that. It's like they're not going to send him back, but if they would, you give him a plane ride back, but he ain't supposed to be here. So, which one is?
But he's here legally. So I guess I don't understand that. And what did they say that Trump? Because they had said the other day, they contradict themselves so much that he didn't have the power to send them back. And I'm like, Andrew Tate was arrested on rape and sex trafficking. They sent him back, and homie sent the plane and got him right on back over here to the U.S. So I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it makes no sense to me.
Again, I think it's one of those situations where we'll put out multiple different stories, multiple different points of view as to confuse the people. So then no one really knows exactly what's going on, or don't exactly know what's right, what's wrong. And so at the end of the day, now we all like, well, okay. And so then some people either they lose interest, or they'd be like, okay, no big deal. But I guess my question is, doesn't he have a family here? So like, what happens with his family?
Exactly. His family's here. And like they're saying, he's here legal, and he even has a lawyer and stuff. Like, not only that, even let's his family's fighting hard for him to get back here because he's here legally. But let's just circle to, even if for Pam to say the president of El Salvador doesn't want to send him back and he doesn't have to. Okay. Maybe he has no whatever ties, or he doesn't have to follow rules for the US. However, the president does. They have to. Once the Supreme Court had directed the administration to return Mr. Garcia because he was deported illegally without any due process, they're obligated to follow the law. Mm-hmm. Like the Constitution of the United States demands that. They can't just say, so what, when the Supreme Court says you have to do something, president or not. There's still rules to follow. So I don't understand that. And even going against the court, what is Congress like? What is Congress doing? What's happening?
Right. Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
I think that this is another story that we'll be hearing a little more about. And I hope the man comes back to his family and everything like that. At least, to your point, to give him due process. Yeah. And I think, it kind of, like we were talking about the last time, it kind of goes, this type of behavior goes against everything they were talking about. They were going to do as it relates to the deportations. It's like there's really no rhyme or reason for how they're going about it, and so definitely something with that. So yeah, but then you did send me this right before we got on. So
the vice president, if Abrego Garcia has not committed a crime, and the U.S. courts have found that he was illegally taken for the United States, and the government of El Salvador has no evidence that he was part of MS-13, why is El Salvador continuing to hold him in CCOT? And his answer was that the Trump administration is paying El Salvador, the government of El Salvador, to keep him at CCOT.
I believe it.
You?
I believe it. Because you can't, like I said, you brought Andrew Tate back. You literally pardoned 1,000 people that had due process and was found guilty. And more than half of them didn't went back. No sooner than you pardon them from January 6th, they've already gone back for committing other crimes.
Other crimes, exactly.
But okay, so I 100% believe that, because first off, we know this man's pride and ego. You ain't gonna let nobody tell you no something that you really want to do. You refuse, because you just refuse to believe you can be told no. So, and if that's the case, that's sad. That's sad as shit. Because that's somebody's life for what?
No reason, yeah.
For what? Yeah. And nobody's trying to, well, if they're all criminals, give them due process. And if they're found guilty of something, then by all means, but there's still a process that you have to go through.
That's very true.
Hell, we met. Well, not when I say we, he's talking about homegrown. Did you see that? The microphone? Yeah. And you're talking about, now you want the homegrown
to go over there. Yeah.
To go over there.
Yeah. Talking about building like 5 or 6 more institutions for them. Yeah. Better beware. All right, so switching gears a little bit. I know you caught up on the whole boycott situation, everything like that. And so before we get into it too much, I have to be honest and say I was a little leery of it. Now I'm seeing the effects of it. And I think I was leery of it because I didn't think it was going to really be effective, honestly. And because I feel like certain times, I think when I first heard about it, it was like, we're going to do this one day. And I was like, well, what kind of impact is that going to make in one day? Now, with the Target situation, from my understanding, Pastor Jamal Bryant was calling for a 40-day fast from Target. And so with that being said, then it kind of woke me up when I started seeing the reports of the effects of it. And so we can get into that a little bit. I want to start with this little clip from a young lady who has some pretty thought-provoking things to say about how Target should move and about the whole boycott situation. So let's take a listen.
I got to thinking about Target and I thought, how are they going to come back from this? It's been what, since January, since the downfall of all the drama. How are they going to come back from this? And I'll tell you one thing that they should do. Their CEO, Brian Cornell, he's been there since 2014. He needs to step down. And he needs to let a Black woman, queens of this earth, step up and be CEO. There's a woman on their team, on their leadership team, Kiera Fernandez. She's an amazing Black woman. She needs to be the CEO. And she needs to come in and say, you know what? I'm CEO now. Don't ever worry about inclusivity, about equality, all of that stuff being on the back burner. Not on my watch. I got you guys. She's been with the company since 2001. If they're trying to save Target and bring it back, that's what they need to do. They need to release the white man, the white CEO, and they need to bring on a powerful, amazing Black woman. Kiera Fernandez, I'm rooting for you to save Target. I think that's the only way. And after all of this, she deserves it. They deserve it. And more than anything, I want Black women to succeed and always be on top. I think that's the only way Target is going to come back from this, is remove your CEO and elevate Kiera Fernandez. And she's going to come out with a powerful statement and she's going to say, not on my watch, never again. You don't ever have to worry about that being on the back burner. That's what I would do, but I'm not Target.
I agree with her. I like it. I 100% agree.
Okay.
I agree. She has some great points. I was with you in the beginning. Like we I think you and I talked about that the one day, and not only the one day, because you and I talk about this a lot too. You have some of us it's like, okay, let's hold it down. But you have so many of us that feel like, I'm still going to do what I want to do. This doesn't bother me. It doesn't touch me. We can't all get on one accord. So
Right.
what I see with this, I love that we're all on the same page. Like that some people are just tired. Like, you know what? Okay, finally. Even if what made them boycott it was like, no, hold on, Target. I spend too much money in here for you to act like this. And I come here for certain products.
Mhm.
So why are you now moving them or putting them lower on the, on the shelves? Because let's be honest, we buy shit out.
Oh yeah.
We buying her out.
Yeah. That's
we buying them out. We buying them out.
Oh, definitely.
So, like, how dare you guys play us like we're not spending good money in your store? So, do I think they need to feel it some? Absolutely. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud that we're standing on something.
Yeah.
We're standing on something.
I agree. We standing on something. I just also question though, like, is it easier to boycott Target because the price point is a little higher? It's because I haven't heard anything like about like what has there been any loss for the Walmart? Because I never originally we were on the list being boycotted. Amazon
and I still haven't been to Walmart. Yeah.
Amazon is on the list. But I don't know if it was part of the 40-day fast or not. I think maybe Target was just the only one on the 40-day fast. But I'm just curious, is it easier to boycott Target because the price point is a little higher? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just speculating.
That's a good. I actually didn't think of that. That's a good one. But let me tell you where I'm coming from with it. I think it's easier, and this is just for me. Black women. It's a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm trying to find the right words. I feel like I said, I just mentioned the honey pot. I mentioned Tabitha Brown. You have the lip bar. So you have all these successful entrepreneur Black women, and there's stuff in Target too by Black men, But I'm looking at it that way. When you have Black women normally sit at the crosshairs of multiple social issues: racism, sexism, economic inequality, culture war debates, all of that. So to see this place, because you have Black Black products in Walmart and stuff too, but to go in there and see tab section, to go in there and see honeypot section to go in there and see. Oh, I can't even think of the name of it now, but it's some barbecue sauce, and that stuff is What'd you say?
I said it's pretty good.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good, and that's like a I think they're out of like Memphis. So, but they have displays, and I appreciate that. So, I think that with us going there, again, I'm speaking as a Black woman, we're spending the money and we're seeing it because we see ourselves being represented, and so many times we're not. So many times we probably are the ones that came up with the idea and stuff like this, but somebody else has to market it, and we got to sit back while somebody else presents our own stuff. And it's not just we're going to put it on this shelf down here with something else. It's displayed. So that support, like, I mean, you have to think about it. What Black women with the vote and stuff, we came and did our thing. I mean, Black men did too, but I'm just speaking as a Black woman.
No, I
did our thing. So with us supporting and trying to go up, it's like, okay, so we here spending this money, basically emptying these shelves every time y'all put something out, and y'all playing in our face like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I think I was listening to, I think it was interview on CNN or interview on MSNBC, but they had this professor from Oakland University. His name was Professor Michael Greiner, and he raised some good points. He was saying that, to your point about, black businesses and stuff like that, he was saying a lot of Black businesses are pulling out of I'm about to say Kroger, out of Target, and deciding not to do business as a result of it. And I think another good point that he raised was that Target has built their image on being very socially responsible and being responsive to like a lot of the DEI initiatives and such. And so this action, or rolling back on your DEI, was basically a contradiction of what you normally stand for. To your point, we have these big displays, Tabitha Brown, boom, front and center, big display and all that kind of stuff, or whoever else may be promoting anything at Target, it becomes a big thing right in the front door when you come in. But then you roll back on your DEI, so and stuff like that. So that it's hitting some people a little, a little wrong, and it's making them feel away. And so, so far they said they've lost like over $12 billion in foot traffic revenue. Yeah. So they're comparing to this time last year, because I think there was some conflict of feeling like, oh, is it just the economy and people aren't buying? But when they're comparing it to this time last year, I guess it's about over $12 billion that they've lost thus far.
And that's insane. It's so, because I asked my mom, I was just running thoughts by her, and I had to write the quote down. And she said her thing was double standards. And this is what she said: when companies go out of their way to market to marginalized groups, it gets framed as woke. But nobody complains about the nonstop marketing to middle America or white suburban families. That's seen as neutral. It's not.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna type that down and say that tonight. Let me quote you, Sheila. Let me quote you tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, it's also, if they continue in this way, it may cause them to start, because they are not making any money. They may have to start cutting jobs and all that kind of stuff, because they're gonna do anything they can to get into the black. When I say black, the red and the black, so they can start back to making some money. So they may have to cut some jobs and stuff like that, which is unfortunate, because I don't even, despite whatever, I don't want to see anybody lose, especially in this economy. I don't want to see anybody losing their job, because it's rough.
Yep.
And it's going to get rougher. So
especially losing your job to a fault that's not your own. You guys created this and did this. So now people have to lose their jobs over a choice that you made that you didn't have to make because you were thriving.
Right. Yeah. So it'll be. I'm to your point. I'm glad to see that people are able to rally together, and I realize it's probably not just Black people, honestly, in this case, rallying together to boycott Target. But I'm good to know that Blacks are sticking together for a common cause, and I say that like I'm not black. Blacks are, but that we are sticking together for a common cause and making some change, and hopefully that this will lead to other situations where, because to everybody's point, the best way to hit a company is in their wallet.
In their wallet.
Yeah. So with that being said, if we were to take this same thought process and same level of action and moving on to another major retailer or something like that, then we really could bring about some change. So from that standpoint, I'm glad to see it happen. So we'll see.
Now, I will say though, Target, if you listening, y'all hurt my heart because Target had my whole entire heart. I'm talking about, I don't want to go in the store. I know I can just get on my app and pay for 1 gallon of milk, and y'all gonna bring it out to my car. I only got to spend $30, $40 and just pick up one thing. Y'all fucked up losing me.
Yeah, and I
was riding to that thing one day I did pick up 4 times. What the fuck did I need from there? I don't know, but I just got 4 times. I got home and realized I needed something else. I didn't get it, so I ordered it. And then I think the kids needed deodorant or something, so I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna order and do pickup again." It happens,
man. But Target is one of those stores too for me that every time I would go in there, I would go in there with the intent of getting 1 or 2 things, and it's not like they have these elaborate displays or anything like that. But it's just once you get in there, it's like, oh, well, I need this.
Yep.
Oh, I need that. Oh, well, let me run over here and see if they got and the next thing you know, you intended to spend $10, you walk out there spending $100.
Target tells you what you need when you get there.
Yeah, exactly. exactly.
Target's like, fuck your list. Walk through these stores.
Right. You I mean, you didn't have that on your plan to go through all the aisles and everything like that.
I didn't even need this
plan. Clearance section.
Baby, listen, that little $5. Look at that plant.
Yeah, don't even need it. Don't have nowhere for it or anything like that. But it's $5. Let me grab it up. You know what I'm saying? Man. So we'll see. And just staying in line with financial things. So we know about these tariffs. I think the last time we spoke about them, I think it was Liberation Day last time we spoke.
Yes.
And so now tariffs went into play. And now they have been postponed for 90 days. So what's your take on this?
My take is that he's kind of playing chicken. And I only say that because, yeah, maybe you were, but then when you seen the people, these countries that you're trying to do this to, they not backing down. And you somewhat don't like that, which is funny to me because you're threatening and you're doing this. So then when they don't back down, now you're like, and if they try to put tariffs on us, I'm going to go higher. So you can mess with them, but they can't do anything back to you. But then when you see that they're not backing down, let me hurry up and push it back, make the stocks go up, have people, I'm not going to say allegedly, had people get stuff. So now they're doing, I think, what was it? Schwab made how many, billion or million in one day or a couple hours?
Yeah. And here's also the piece of that too, is that listen to a couple of reports about it, is the instability that this is causing for the economy. So people are scared. They're running more scared. Before I talk about the instability, I wanted to kind of piggyback off what you also said. I don't think it was just the other countries pushing back on the tariffs. I also think it was the people, these billionaires, losing money.
Yes.
The stock market took I think they said it was the biggest drop with the S&P took the biggest drop since 2019 or something like 2019. So people, they probably start getting in his ears too, saying, listen, hey, now this ain't what I signed up for. I signed up for X, Y, and Z. I ain't signed up for A and B. You know what I'm saying? And so now that they're really starting to kind of see it and feel it, they like, nah, I didn't sign up for that. And so then he's saying, now backtracking a little bit, saying, oh, okay, well, I'm going to pause it for 90 days. But there's still the instability and the inconsistency is causing people to know they don't know what. It's almost like playing double dutch. You know, so
the economy is doing a balancing act right now in so many ways.
Yeah,
Like tariffs are being more so used as like a strategic chess price, almost kind of sort of.
definitely.
And then you have some like, oh, well, it's not affecting us, it's not this, and it may not, because it trickles down. All the bad stuff trickles down. So it's more so minority families, and not even just minority. Let's take race out of it. Those that are on the lower end, you know what I mean? The lower class, like it's gonna hit them soon, and it's gonna hit them hard. And really us, hey, even middle class at this point, because it's down.
You better say it, yeah.
So it's a mess, and I wish people would do their own research on it instead of, well, he said this. He's said a bunch of shit and came into play, and this is where we are now.
But I also think, to your point of he said this, I think, yes, you're right. He said a bunch of things. And I think we touched on this before. Is that, yes, he may have said this, that, and the third. However, many people didn't feel like what he was saying was going to impact them. Like I'm saying, like if I was a billionaire and I didn't think my business, if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't think my business would be affected or impacted, because that ain't what you stand for. You're supposed to stand, the little people, yeah, you can do whatever you need to them, but for me, no. And so it's but also, and I know he's got a hard on for China, but I was listening to this on my way to work today that the president of China has halted, let me see, halted the delivery of all its jets to airlines in the country from Boeing. Has halted the deliveries of Boeing Airlines. Let me say this out one more time. Due to the shares of Boeing falling, I think on Tuesday, so today's Wednesday, it's Tuesday, following the report, China has halted the delivery of all its jets to airlines in the country as part of an escalating trade war that has enveloped the world's two biggest economies. And so that's a big deal.
That's a real big deal.
That's a big deal. I don't know what that's.
Sheen dresses ain't coming. Them Sheen dresses and shit ain't coming. Ain't that is it Sheen, Shine, whatever?
Sheen, yeah. Whatever it is, it ain't gonna come. And Temu, all of it's a wrap. It's definitely a wrap. So it's rough times. And then AOC recently had made a couple comments about not a couple comments, made one major comment about, because Marjorie Taylor Greene was one of the public officials that has
He-Man. I'm sorry.
Bought the dip. And so let's play that real quick where AOC's talking about that.
With Trump's corrupt and disastrous and rushed tariff scheme, we saw Marjorie Taylor Greene buy that dip. I got one question for her. How much did you make? How much did you make off of people's despair? How much did you make off that panic? How much did you make off of that suffering? No more. We can't accept it. It was all, I hope we see now, that it was all about manipulating the markets so that he could quietly enrich his friends who bought the dip before reversing it all in the morning.
I can't wait till that list come out.
Yeah, because they said it'd be about 30 days before the list will come out about it. Because they say she's not the only one, but I guess she's the first one to be talked about. But yeah, so they said within 30 days we'll know others that have bought the dip, so to speak. So it's going to be interesting. And I, because we were talking about this offline, like you were saying this, Martha Stewart went to jail for something similar. But they were saying on these reports that what she did wasn't illegal because she has a financial advisor, like I'm sure many of those people have, and so she was saying that basically, I guess her financial advisor acted on their own. It was kind of like what I was saying, but I want to say that didn't Martha say that in the beginning?
I don't know if Martha said that in the beginning, but let me just say if it was me.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a financial advisor, yes, you are there to advise me, but you're not going to make no decisions without running that shit past me first.
That is true, but you know that's common sense would say that, you
Yeah.
know, but maybe that's, you know, maybe we keep keeping a too close a tie on our what is it called, purse straps, you know, maybe you know,
But if
maybe
it was the other way around though, and it was if it wasn't Marjorie and it was AOC or Jasmine or Jeffries or somebody like that that did this, if it was Obama or Biden or Clinton or whoever else that did that,
it'll be a whole different story.
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
And would they buy the story that, well, my financial advisor did that?
I don't really buy it. I mean, I feel like she had to know, because, and matter of fact, didn't he say something like that? Didn't he say in an interview or a rally, somebody say it's a good time to buy? So even if you did
on himself at every turn.
Yeah. Even
what did they say? He didn't mean it. He's trolling. Y'all took what he said the wrong way. No, that's what he said.
Yeah, exactly. So then even if you didn't have a conversation with your financial advisor, if you heard him say that, they heard him say, it's almost naturally okay. So I don't buy it either. I think that there was some conversation being had, you know. However, we'll see. And to your point, I can't wait to see the list of others who were involved in this type of behavior. But then again,
I'm so sick of her. I'm like, who even voted for her? But I guess when she went, she didn't have anybody to run up against. Nobody. She was running without a mate. So that's how she got in. But how the fuck they gonna get her out? That's what I need. I need Jordan to talk to me about it.
They're not going to. I don't think there's any plans to get her out. So, you know, and she's wreaking havoc. So we'll see. We'll see. And real quick, one more thing. Like, once this list come out, I mean, we want to know because we want to know, but what is that gonna really do? You know what I'm saying? Is anything gonna happen to these people now? Because with the way the president moves, a lot of these other people, a lot of his supporters feel like they have the same immunity, the presidential immunity that he has. And so they're doing these things and acting as if, listen, I'm invincible. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Now that's downfall will be when stuff starts happening to them. You understand that? And so we'll see. We'll have to stay tuned and see.
Exactly how it is. I literally saw, it's so funny. I was watching something yesterday, where he's a vet. I know this we going to different, but it goes to what we're talking about.
Go ahead.
I voted for Trump, and they said that I was probationary, so they fired me, and this and that, and that's just not right. I voted for him. I mean, I still agree with some of his policies, but I know this is a mistake. I can't feel sorry for you, and it's not a mistake. What it is you were okay with everything he was saying he was going to do, as long as it was to somebody that wasn't your color or wasn't you. You don't care if it's somebody else that got fired. Yeah. So now using that whole to somebody that served the country to this, that man been telling y'all how he felt about vets. He didn't even serve because he didn't want to. He got out of it.
Definitely. So, I still have that lasting question of like, why? And they were saying this morning on CNN that his support from vets have gone up from the time that he previously ran. It was up. It was like from 17%. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but I remember 17 and maybe like 20-some% now. When at this most recent election, based off his veteran supporters, but they're getting hit.
They're getting hit hard.
Yeah,
so they're getting hit. And also, who the fuck are taking these polls? Because sometimes who are y'all polling? I need to know that. Right. Because this shit ain't. Because I just saw something that was like his what's it called? Oh God, I can't even think of the word. Being the popularity vote has gone up since he's been in office.
So yeah, I guess depending on the poll and depending on who bringing the information.
Because these town halls say different.
Exactly, and then other polls say his approval rating has gone down. So
exactly.
So I guess we got to look at who are they polling and who's putting together this information. Yep. We'll see. And I don't know if you followed it, but Josh Shapiro. Had a tragedy this week, and not really much to say about it, but his house, the governor's mansion, was burned down or burned or caught on fire, a victim of arson. and makes you wonder, like, because if I let me think about this again. So in Indy, is the governor, because isn't it what street is that on?
Meridian.
But is it protected? I don't remember.
That was my question. They have now. It might not be as secure as they got the White House, but they absolutely have security. And I do want to say that I'm glad nobody was hurt. And I would say that even if it was a Republican, I'm glad nobody was hurt. Kids and stuff was in the house, so I'm glad no one was hurt. But they absolutely have security for somebody to get over the gate and into the house.
Right.
Not okay.
Yeah.
Those will be the first people I'll be talking to, security, because how did this happen?
And that's my question. So when I was hearing it, I was like, you just able to just get that close to the property and do your thing, so and
while you're talking about Google it, I just want to make sure, because I'm pretty sure that I'm right. They have well, not that I'm right, that we're right. They have
security. Well, go ahead and Google it, and I'm gonna go and play this little video about it.
The man accused of setting the Pennsylvania governor's mansion on fire was arraigned last night on charges including arson, attempted murder, and terrorism. The governor and his family escaped the attack. The suspect's mother tells CBS News he is mentally ill and he was off his medication.
State police escorted 38-year-old Cody Balmer into a central Pennsylvania courtroom Monday night. He's accused of firebombing Governor Josh Shapiro's home.
This was an intentionally set fire. That in and of itself is an act of terrorism against the governor. This is a homegrown, American, unfortunately, that had some beef with government and the governor, and really wanted to see harm done to him.
Fire officials were able to control the flames within 30 minutes and credit closed doors inside the residence for slowing the spread. Shapiro is a rising Democratic star and was on the shortlist for vice president last year. Court documents show Balmer told police he harbored hatred for the governor and wanted to beat him with a hammer. He also admitted he allegedly removed gasoline from a lawnmower and poured it into bottles to make Molotov cocktails. The governor had hosted guests for the first night of Passover. He and his family safely evacuated.
We don't know the person's specific motive yet, but we do know a few truths. First, this type of violence is not okay.
At last night's hearing, Balmer told the judge he's been living here in Harrisburg with his parents for the last year, adding that he does not suffer mental health issues. He called that a rumor. He was also denied bail and did not enter a plea.
So it sounded to me like he did that with intention, because he could have went on and said, I suffer a little mental illness or whatever like that. But he listen, I mean, I do appreciate him for owning up to it, but that's crazy.
Crazy though. Did you see the picture of him?
Yeah. I mean, he looked like something was off. Like something off.
You're kind of fine though. Hey, I mean, Newsom has my heart, but still, whatever.
Okay. Yeah. So what did you find out?
They do. Now they don't have, it's not Secret Service, but senators do have security.
So then how did it, how does this happen? I guess I don't know if he was off the premise, and they said firebomb, so I don't know how that works out. But nonetheless, it looked like some pretty good damage was done. So thoughts and prayers for the Shapiro family, because that's a little much. That is a little much. So I don't know. All right, so we coming to an end here, and I wanted to read something that you had sent to me.
What I see?
We'll see the other day. So it's a little quote. So we'll end with this little quote. It says, "Terrible things are happening outside. Poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Men, women, and children are separated. Children come home from school to find their parents have disappeared." And this was from the Diary of Anne Frank back in 1943. And to your point, when you sent this to me,
we seeing it.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yep. So
full circle.
And unfortunately, with every day, there is a little bit more unfolding that that's making this more real.
It is.
More
It
real.
is. Into this quote, it's so funny because I'm glad that I actually saw that and sent it, but I was looking at something on TikTok where you had somebody far right basically saying that Anne Frank was fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nothing was fiction about that lady, but okay, she was a fictional character, but okay.
Right. Quickly, I know they were trying to do something with the African American Museum in DC. Are they doing anything to the Holocaust Museum?
I haven't heard it. I've only heard.
Yeah, the reason I say that because I do want to. I want to go to the Holocaust Museum. Many times I've been in DC, I've never been to the Holocaust Museum. I want to make my way there.
You should go. You absolutely should go.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you've been to the African American Museum. Yeah. Okay, so that's like a 2-3 day because there's so many. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's amazing. It's no wonder they hate us. I'm just.
Oh yeah.
You the blueprint.
I love the design of it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What didn't dawn on me is like you start from the bottom and then go up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it didn't dawn on me when I'm going in. I'm like, what is this going on? We got to go to the basement and then go. But it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. So
and it gets better as you go up because baby, them first 2 floors, it's dark.
Oh, very dark.
It's dark. It's dark. And like you need a minute. You need a minute. But yeah. But I haven't heard anything about the I've not heard anything about the Holocaust Museum, but they have been taking a lot of books that were written and they're taking those off shelves.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it'd be up to us to have those books present for our children to read and know history and stuff like that.
I got a whole list. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They trying to erase that shit. Like they're really trying to put in books that how slaves were, but they don't even want to call them slaves anymore. They want to call them volunteers.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's sad, but we'll keep at it. But thank you everyone for joining us for another episode of Mocha Madness, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks
with some more shit to talk about.
Oh, definitely.
Have a good evening.